Okay, so let's talk about knowledge. This is so dumb, but someone in a comment on YouTube said the flat earth is dumb because there's no model that can predict something or whatever. And the globe can predict the position of the stars for centuries in the future. And I'm like, let's talk about that. Let's think about that. You think your model can predict something that you made? Or is it that the sky does these cycles and these patterns that are repeated all throughout time, and we've observed them? So it's not like we're predicting anything. We're just saying, hey, last time it did this, and the last time 10 times before that it did this too, so it's going to do this again. So this is not knowledge, it's an observation. So your globe doesn't predict anything. The globe or the heliocentric model doesn't predict anything. It observes reality and claims to know what's happening. But you don't know what's happening because, well, here's an example. Like, my friend Austin from the Melodome, I think he coined a phrase, maybe it's not him, but he's the first person I heard it from. Fake smart. Don't be fake smart. Fake smart is me saying, no, you moron, the sun isn't 100 million miles away, it's 93 million miles away. As if you could know. As if it's something you could know. Oh, I saw a TikTok video that Neil deGrasse Tyson made. It was actually hilarious. He said he was responding to a question that was asked maybe on his page or something. And he said, do I think that astronauts someday could ever land on the sun? And he goes, I think it would be possible, but you'd have to do it at night. I thought that was great. But, so, another thing, okay, like, I'm kind of responding to some comments, recent comments that I've read. Okay, when the sun and the moon are in the sky and the moon goes in front of the sun and there's a solar eclipse, people say there's an umbra and a penumbra. And I would have to say, actually, there's not. There isn't. And everyone would say, well, we see it. It's a big, huge shadow. And like Bob, the science guy, whatever his other channel is, he is saying in a comment that the moon does cast a miniature shadow on the earth called the umbra. And what I would say is that that's the only shadow you see. That's the only one you see. There is no other shadow. It's an umbra. With this, you can call it umbra, you can call it what you want. It's a shadow. A shadow. It's a shade from the light. Okay? And people just misunderstand everything that I say in order to make sure that I'm not right. You know what I'm saying? So someone was commenting about the scale of, I said, how do you get a 1/30th scale shadow? Because, okay, look, right now the sun's shining on my shirt. See my hand? See my shadow of my hand? I can't really do this because I'm driving, but you will never get a miniature shadow. Look, see my hand? It looks smaller. Maybe. That's because I'm putting my hand right up to the camera. The shadow that an object makes is never smaller than the object. Especially, it's not ever 1/30th the size of it. So that's the scale during a solar eclipse. They say the moon's 2,100 and whatever miles wide, or in diameter, but the shadow's 70 miles. And it's a real physical shadow that I've stood under it during an eclipse. Passes over you in like 2.5 minutes. That is not I've done this, take your drone, fly your drone up in the air and watch the shadow of your drone. I want to see a miniature one, but you can never see that. There's no miniature shadow. There's no 1/30th scale shadow. So the moon is either 70 miles in diameter or something else is going on. The heliocentric explanation is false. Okay, it's false. The moon goes in front of the sun. That's what it appears to be. But the moon is casting a 70-mile diameter shadow on the ground, a real one that we observe. And your penumbra, you don't observe. You don't observe a penumbra. You observe its shadow. Okay. And I filmed this and I put it on my channel and I show it to people. It's like I did a time lapse with a GoPro, and you get a distinct shadow, like it's got crisp edges as it goes over. It's not this fade to this little dot. But you know the problem with the people that argue against flat earth, the people that are just too blind to acknowledge truth, and I think they don't know it, and they're not trying to be, but I think they're evil. I think they're liars to themselves. An example. Okay, there is no motion of the earth. There's no motion of the earth. There's no rotation of the earth. You've never observed it. In fact, your whole life, every moment you've been alive, the earth is the ground, is been solid and still right beneath you. It isn't something that rotates. You've never seen any rotation. You've never seen an axis of rotation. And so when people say, oh, well, you couldn't tell if it was the earth or the stars that are rotating. It could be either. No, it could not. Have you ever looked at the sky at night? Have you ever noticed that the stars are moving? So this question of, it could be the earth too, and the stars could be still, and the earth could be turning. No, that's not reality. Look around. The earth isn't moving. The stars are. It's not even an argument. It's like Bob says, it's not even debatable. So that's what Bob the Science Guy said on a comment. He said, the earth is a rotating sphere and it's not debatable. And I'm like, where have you been the last 8 years, Bob? You make flat earth debunking videos on your channel and you say there's no debate? Sorry, you're kind of conflicting with your own actions there. Your words are conflicting with your actions. The knowledge that we have is not knowledge. It's more observation than anything. And the globe dwellers must deny and reject the observations. I'm pointing out that the earth is not moving. My van is driving over the earth right now with turning wheels. That's why we make vehicles. That's why vehicles are in motion when the wheels are turning. The ground is not in motion. And I don't understand how people can't figure this out. Why are you a liar to yourself? Why are you lying to yourself, Bob the Science Guy or whoever? Why are you lying? If you go outside at night and you take a picture or you mark the location of a star, okay? Now we've got a location of a star. Well, apparently, according to the globe, the earth must rotate in order for that star to change position, right? No, the star can simply move, which is what happens. Everybody observes this. It's not debatable. The stars are in motion. They start in the east and they go to the west. How could you say that they're not moving? Well, because that's the earth rotating. No, it's not. The earth is still. I know you were taught that. You think it's smart to repeat what lies you were taught. But stop lying to yourself. It's ridiculous. So, let's see. Someone says, no, I've observed the rotation of the earth. It's easy. I observe the rotation of the earth when I take my equatorial mount and I point it at the stars, and I can do long exposure photography of the stars with my equatorial mount. Hey, guess what? Your equatorial mount has a motor, dude. Wake up. You're observing the stars rotating and you're trying to say that it's the ground. You're actually convincing yourself that the ground is rotating because you set something on the ground with a motor and it follows something in the sky. Sorry. You are out of your element of reality. There is no reality to you. It must be rejected by the Globers. It must be rejected. Michael Toon, MC Toon, told me one time on a video or on a live stream that he observes the rotation of the earth. And I said, no, you don't. He said, no, I do. And I said, how? And he said, when I look up at the stars and they lead, the motion of the stars moving leads me to the conclusion that the earth is a rotating sphere. Trust me, I understand how you get to that that conclusion. That's a pretty crappy conclusion. It goes against reality. You must reject and deny reality in order to say these things. Kent Hovind was saying, he said, on a flat earth, it should always be daytime. This is... Oh, wow. So you're saying that if the earth is like it is, like we all, live on it, and if it was flat, and then he said, I should be able to look out my window and see China. What this is Kent not thinking. He's trying not to think. In other words, he's sure that even though it's a lie, he's sure that it's probably not a lie. Even though he knows it's a lie, because it's the opposite of what reality offers us. We experience something completely different than what Kent says. When we watch the sun rise in the east and set in the west, do you actually think that you're seeing the entire world if it was flat? So it's like Kent in the same video, he was talking about an ant on a basketball. To the ant, it would be flat. Then he said, no, because of the bumps, it would be a bowling ball would be more of a better example. No. To the ant that has a tape measure and has optics and things, that ant would not ever say that a bowling ball is flat. Even though if it was a big bowling ball and he was a small ant, maybe it would appear to be flat. But if the ant had measuring equipment that it could gather data with, it would know that there's no curvature, or that the bowling ball has curvature. So this is the problem. One of the problems. Technology is at an all-time high. We've never seen the technology that we are inventing right now. The things we see tomorrow will be, you could say, better or more advanced or more complicated than they are today. But we can gather more intricate and detailed data. That's why people say the earth is flat, because we have some of the best optics. We do have the best optics that have ever been. We have the best optics that have ever existed in time. No one's ever been able to zoom in on something quite like we can. That's why they thought the earth was curved, because ships go down over the curve. No, they don't. That's just a lack of understanding, and the reason why it's not understood is because liars. You're believing a lie, you're lying to yourself. You don't observe the earth rotating. You don't observe the earth curving. You're convinced that you're right, so that you believe that lie and you keep telling it to yourself and probably your kids too. Anyway, there's a rant. Get off the globe. It's literally sinking into hell. Like, I don't know, people don't see that. You know, if you're in the solar system, if you're on a spinning sphere in the solar system, you are already in Sheol. You're on your way to Sheol. You're falling. You're perpetually falling into a dark abyss, and you just don't know it. And it's sad, because there's truth and there's light, and it's here. Some of us see it. We're trying to share it, even though people want to believe the opposite of reality. Anyway, have a good one.